PC VR is dead or dying, according to the internet. Yeah, that internet. Don't worry, fellow VR enthusiasts, I'm here to tell you why the internet is talking complete and utter bollocks, and that in fact, PC VR is thriving. And I'm going to back it up with facts that aren't made up, probably. Ready? Let's get straight into it then. And remember, we're born to respawn. Virtual reality has been around for a lot longer than you think. Morten Hellig built the Sensorama, the first functional VR device, back in 1962. Consumer VR only really took off in 2016 though, with the release of the Oculus Rift CV1, PSVR and the HTC Vive, and enjoyed steady, if unspectacular, growth. Then the Oculus Quest 2 launched on the 13th of October 2020 and has been a runaway sales success despite a few hiccups with privacy laws in Germany and the facial interface debacle. Sorry, that just makes me laugh. Where were we? Oh yeah, Quest 2 has sold loads and made buckets of cash for Facebook because that's just what they needed. I've got one and I use it nearly every day. So the death of PC VR is imminent, right? Here are the internet's 3 main reasons why. PC VR is dead, point number 1. In a Q4 2020 earnings call, Mark Zuckerberg notes the launch of the Quest 2 drove a 156% increase in the company's non-advertising revenue. He then went on to state, the big question is, what is it going to take for it to be profitable for all developers to build these large efforts for VR? To get to that level, we think that we need 10 million people on a given platform. Now, this is the important bit, so listen up. He then said, this threshold isn't 10 million people across all different types of VR, because if you build a game for Rift, it doesn't necessarily work on PlayStation VR. So we need 10 million people on one platform. Obviously, he's talking about Oculus Quest, his platform, the standalone headset that will kill PC VR for good. But I will get back to this later. PC VR is dead, point number 2. Later in the year, during one of his frankly fascinating AMAs on the Instagram, Andrew Bosworth, the vice president of Facebook Reality Labs, was asked, when will Oculus have 10 million users? He replied, you know, I'm not going to answer this question because I don't know the answer to it. But we are doing really well. When we set that goal and talked about it at Connect, we had a time frame in mind that it would happen on, and I'm very convinced it's going to happen earlier than we had initially expected. So Oculus Quest 2 will reach 10 million users, then it will explode into the mainstream and leave PC VR trailing in its dust. And that's a fact because someone said it on the internet. PC VR is dead. Point number 3. Oh boy, the haters jumped onto this one straight away. In June 2021, the number of concurrent VR users on Steam dropped significantly for the first time, down from an all-time high of 3 million to less than 2.5 million. Combined with the sales success of the Quest 2, it was enough for mainstream media to pronounce PC VR was dead, and by inference, the Quest 2 were the future. Fact. Well, no, not fact. And here are 3 reasons why PC VR is not dying. Point number 1. In July, the monthly connected headsets on Steam bounced back to 2.8 million. Not quite 3 million high, but a substantial bump nonetheless. Having studied the figures, the user database has many cycles, but the overall trend is upwards. This drop may have been caused by any number of things. Pandemic restrictions lifting, good weather, summer holidays spring to mind, meaning people who have been cooped up for nearly 18 months are enjoying being outside again. I know that I definitely spent more time going out for walks, plus enjoying local pubs and restaurants. Steam themselves never even attempted to explain the drop, so the death of PC VR definitely wasn't a factor because of the bounce back within 1 month. Moving on, Oculus have stated that Lone Echo 2, when it does finally release, will be the last major AAA title on the Oculus PC platform, and that they are now moving their focus to standalone VR. We still have After the Fall, Green Hell Lo-Fi and Vertigo 2 amongst others to look forward to, and Valve must be working on Half-Life Alyx sequel, but you know they move in Valve time. We don't know when that will be, so we'll move on to PC VR is not dying, point number 2. Denny Unger from Cloudhead Games, the developers of Pistol Whip, says that he's constantly asked where the next big VR title is coming from. Where is the next Half-Life Alyx? He stated this, it's important to recognise that many studios like ours have those games sitting in limbo. Big ideas require big budgets, and we're maxing out what works to financially power up big ideas later. Do you remember my final statement from PC VR is dead, point number 1? Standalone VR will kill PC VR? Cloudhead reported a massive 10x spike in sales of Pistol Whip upon Quest 2 release. So ironically, sales of standalone VR may actually help fund more AAA titles to PC VR because devs like Cloudhead will have the cash to invest in those big ideas. The reality is that VR users on Steam are up 94% year on year, currently about 3 million users, which means that very soon, either in 2022 or early 2023, Steam VR users will hit that 10 million sweet spot. And then, remember Mark Zuckerberg's statement from PC VR is dead .1? To get to that level, we think we need about 10 million people on a given platform. Ironically, a large percentage of those 10 million Steam VR users will be Oculus Quest 2 owners. Ignore the ups and downs and look at the red line on this graph. That is the beginning of an exponential growth curve. PC VR is not dying, my final point 3. I posted a poll on my community page which asked a simple yes or no question. Ever used your Quest or Quest 2 as a PC VR headset? It has become one of my most popular polls so far with over 400 votes, and the result, 83% of Mac in VR subs have used their Quest or Quest 2 for PC VR. I wasn't expecting the margin to be that high, to be honest, but it did prove something that I've been thinking about for a while now. Which brings us neatly to my conclusion, but just before that, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons. I love you all truly, madly, and deeply. Could you also please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload any new content? Thank you. Conclusion. Oculus Quest 2 has the lowest price barrier for joining the VR gaming world. At just $299 for the brand new 128GB version, it's a bargain, and at that price can also be a gateway impulse buy for someone who is interested in VR but can't afford a high-end gaming PC. PC VR headsets have a higher price barrier due to the need for a relatively powerful PC to run your VR games on, but it would seem that once hooked, users will drift into PC VR because they want that next big thing, which is currently Half-Life Alyx. Not just the best game in VR, but one of the best games ever made. So no, I don't think PC VR is dead. As stated earlier, that is a load of utter bollocks, but I do think it's changing, morphing into something we initially may not have seen. And it is this. PC VR will be dominated by standalone headsets using wireless game streaming solutions like Guy Godin's superb virtual desktop app or Oculus's own AirLink solution. Even Valve have seen that the future is wireless, and we await a wireless index with bated breath. With no wires, you have all the freedom of standalone, but all the power of your high-end gaming PC as well. As one friend put it quite succinctly, the Quest 2 is a gateway drug for VR, and before you know it, you'll be sniffing cocaine off a sex worker's butt cheek. Of course, here at Mac in VR, we do not condone any such behaviour. What do you think? Have you used your Quest or Quest 2 for PC VR gaming, or are you just sticking with standalone on your Oculus device? You know the drill. Get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. The algorithm loves the likes. Click the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload any new content, and maybe do all the things popping up around me now. You can also support the channel or PayPal or Patreon, or by going to my shop on tshirtstudio.com and purchasing some of my stylish merchandise. My best chum Surgical has launched its own YouTube channel, so go check out the link in the description below. I also stream once a week, so keep an eye on the community page of my channel for times and dates. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side. Ah, crap, missed him. Oh, he's still alive. This means a nut shot. Oh, right in the plums. That's a being a dick. Oh shit.